All right, we are back here with Thomas Wohrman again. We are talking about his custom fit ski boots, as you guys can see right here. Before we left for a quick second there, Tom, I was saying, you know, people that don't know that you can custom fit ski boots and snowboard boots. He does both, but with the ski boots, they got the hard shell and then the soft inner boot. We were talking about some of the people with, you know, high arches or people with wide feet, or like you said, people with a huge old bunion or amputated toes. You can custom fit and mold those ski boots to their feet.
That's correct. I've been doing this for 46 years. It's critical that the boot is set up correctly for steering down that mountain road like a front end alignment on that car. With the ski boots, a lot of things that happen to men and women both. Not every boot is made for them. When you look at the typical four-buckled boot, you'll see this great big void. There's nothing to hold the heel in the heel pocket except for over-tightening the boot, cutting off blood flow through to the toes. A lot of it happens with the people with a long girth area from here to here. And then a lot of the models where we're doing it this way, where it's holding the heel back in the pocket, it's got a floating tongue. It compensates for the height of the instep of the foot and allowing the blood flow through to the toes. When you have the hike mode on the bottom of the boot, this is a tech boot. You notice that there's a hike on the back of it. Flip and walk hike mode for hiking in that 200 yards to our local resorts is what everybody goes through now. You want a boot where we can make that hike without ruining the boot and taking 2 runs out of us by the end of the day by walking wrong in a ski boot is not uncommon.
Right.
You know, and it's all about building comfort, support, control. It doesn't have to be expensive. It has to be correct.
Right.
And that's what everybody wants. It's at our high prices of lift tickets today and getting higher every season. Spend the money, buy a good boot. Don't shortcut yourself of thinking that you have to have a cheap boot when you're spending the amount of money on sale for a boot, the same price you paid for 1-day lift ticket, doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know, none of it. That's a waste of a good lift ticket.
Yeah, that's very true, Tom.
Yep.
So as far as, you know, we talked about how you're able to, you know, mold and shape some of these boots and custom fit people's feet. Tell the folks a little bit about how you do that, about how you're able to mold those hard shells and everything like that.
The machine I have is from Milano, Italy, the same place my grandparents was from. It manipulates the shell from the inside out, not just from one side or the other, putting a big bulge on it. We're using the shell shaping that they have from the factory. We're just changing that figure without melting plastic. It's a 7-hour process, and so it takes time for quality, comfort, support. Sometimes I have to do it again because we're not trying to overdo it, end up with a sloppy foot inside that boot.
Right.
But I can box them in height, I can pull them out in length, I can do it out in width.
Wow.
Some of the inferior products of materials of ski boots out there today are made from recycled pop bottles.
Right.
Their liners are designed to last 75 days maximum, throw in the trash.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't deal with any of that product. I only deal with real manufacturers who have their own factory, minimum 200 days of skiing liners. That one's a 300-day liner inside that one, minimum. So it's all high quality. Roxa has their own factory in Italy. They've been there since 1969. De La Boot since 1969. Alpina since pre-WW2, 74 years in the private sector. De La Boot Salt Lake City is one of the ones I was mentioned before. That one's a full-on custom boot. It doesn't exist until we get all the measurement drawings, sent it off to the factory. Ballpark 2-week turnaround time.
Wow, that's not bad at all for all of that work. I can tell you that. That's awesome, Tom.
Yep.
Well, folks, if you need more information, stop by. If you're in town, Wohrman Sports, it's on the corner there across from Lily's Tire Center, right next to 7-Eleven. It has the big sign that says Custom Fit Ski Boots. Tom Wohrman, thanks always. A pleasure having you in here and going over all your great product with us. So thanks again. Folks, we're going to take a short break. Tahoe Today. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.